How's it going? So Heritage just ended one of its days, and actually its second day as well. And we're going to go through those numbers. Now, some went kind of low, but actually overall, when I just kind of glanced at them, went through a few of them, I thought they actually did pretty well. They're all hitting either 1-year highs or 2-year highs. Now, not always hitting record prices, which is all the way back in 2021, but a lot of these comics were hitting pretty much record prices within the last year or two. So that's pretty good. So let's take a look at them and go through them all. So first up is we got, this is just a cover art. This is the top one that sold, this Black Cat. Very cool, art. Sold for $840,000 for this cover art. Man, I wish I had that. All right, next is we got this Detective 27. Now this one did sell a little low. And if we go through and look at the Detective, we can see what point that it sold for compared to the last one. So let's bring this one up here. I need to make this window a little smaller. It's covering my whole screen. So yeah, so let's look at this. So this one was a 4.5. So 4.5 sold for, $675. And I think I looked at the last one sold for. So $675, it's on there already. That's good. Last one sold for $1.1 million, so quite a drop off. But a 3.0 sold for $600,000, so definitely that one was not good. I will say that much. That Detective was not good. So someone got a steal there. Maybe it was me. Maybe I bought it. I wish. Okay, Marvel Comics #1. Marvel Comics #1, 1939. Here we go. Okay. This one was a 4.5, selling for almost $300,000. And if we go down here to a 4.5, last one sold for $360. So that one's not that great either. But the last one sold was back in 2022. So, okay. Let's see what else we got. Batman #1, first appearance of the Joker. This one sold for a 4.0 for $288 as well. These are going from the top down. Batman 1, $288. Now I just picked like random ones that I thought would be interesting. All right, so $288. It did sell more than the last one, so that's good. $288. How much more was it? So it's going up. So when was this? This is back in 2022. So this is an all-time record for this book. One sold in 2020, then the next one was 2022 for $264. So for this grade, that's an all-time record for this book that it sold. So that's pretty good. So see, record price for that book. I think I have some other Batman since we're on Batman right now. All right, Batman 4. Batman 4 and 8.5 sold for $40,000. Since we're already on Batman. Batman 4 and 8.5. The last one was the Billy Wright Pedigree, and that sold in 2022 for $37. So this is definitely a record right there. So, and it wasn't even Pedigree. I mean, this probably the last one to sell 2021, sold for $47. Okay, so when 2021 at the peak, it did sell for $47, so slightly down, better than the Pedigree in 2022. So, yeah, not bad overall. Where was it? Goodbye. All right, next we got this Captain America comics. I'm going to kind of go through this pretty fast. Captain America comics #1 in a 5.0 sold for $180,000. That to me seems low, but we won't know until we actually look at it. A lot of times people will ask me, it's like, oh, don't you know? I'm like, how can I know like thousands upon thousands of comics off the top of my head currently what they're going for? That's why I always have to look at 180. Last one sold 180. So the same. Didn't go up, didn't go down. And that one sold in 2022. So record price for this book, or tied for the record price. So there we go. This is just a John Romita. I always like to show art that goes for astonishing prices. $216,000 for this John Romita original art piece. Superman 1, that's a big book. Superman 1 and a 1.5 sold for $180,000. Let's see, Superman 1. $180,000. When is the last one? Looks like a record price. Not a record price. Okay, so last one sold was 2023 in July. $130. Can you imagine? Can you imagine buying this same book for $130,000 and then going and selling it? What is that? A year later, making $50,000. So it's almost a third, probably like 28% on your money, but it's $50,000. In 2022, the top price was $192, so slightly under. See, these are pretty good prices. I'm not gonna lie, these are pretty good. Very happy. Here's another cover. This is a great cover. I'm surprised this cover so well. I guess the Black Cat was a better cover, but this one was $180. That one was $840. Oh, dang, this is a very iconic cover. Here's another cover, but this is a more 1989, not even that old. And personally, I don't even like this cover that much, to be honest. It's kind of boring. There's just like, it's kind of boring to me because it's like there's a lot of people standing around and they're all kind of dressed the same. So they all kind of blend together. And you don't get like a very big picture of Wolverine and the Hulk. It makes them smaller because you have to fit in all these other people. But it sold for $144,000, so someone likes it. I am not the arbiter of what good art is. Art is subjective. To each their own. And plus, I don't like Joe Fixit Hulk. No. Hulk needs to be, a rage monster, how he's supposed to be. Not this timid, walk around with a suit, worthless, not as strong as the Green Hulk. That's why I like the Hulk. The Hulk is unpredictable. I like that about the Hulk. You don't know what's going to happen. All right. Fantasy 4 #1 in an 8.5. Hasn't been that many sales because I do have a Fantasy 4 and a 7.0 that I'm trying to get rid of. 144, so higher. It's gone up. Obviously, this was peak of the market right here, selling for $350. Geez. But also that same month, if you look at that same month, so it sold for $350,000, $240, $228, all within June, August of 2022. That was the peak of the market. The last sale was, there's this one in 2023 in June 2nd, so a year ago, pretty much a year ago, sold for $117, now up $30,000 from that point a year later. 30,000. It's like 25%-ish, somewhere around there. So think about that. This book, since 2023, gained 25%. That's better than most stocks in 1 year. That's a very good return. Very, very good return, I must say. So, pretty good stuff. All right, here we go. Fantasy 15, everyone's favorite comic book. Fantasy 15 is 6.5. I just sold a 6.0 for 70. That was like my pride and joy. 6.5, 114. So 6.0, last one was 75. We sold ours for 70. That's a guaranteed sale. I can tell you that right now for me. All right, so 114. The last one before this was Christmas time, sold for 100,000. Then before that, in February of 2023, selling for 91,000. So that is up basically 20,000-ish, 25,000, somewhere around there from where I was selling before. So 2023, from what I can tell on these, are pretty much the low point, and everything's been going up, which I kind of predicted anyways. So that's good. So comics are back. Well, we'll see. One data set is not enough to say comics are back. Okay, see, we're doing the first I Hand Man. All right, Tales Suspense 39 in a 9.2, sold for $106,000. What is it going to be? 9.2. 106. What was the last one? It seems about, it's pretty much flat. So last one sold, not even that long ago, sold for 108, so basically the same. And then a year-ish ago, the end of 2022, sold for 108, so hasn't moved. So not going down, not going up. Adventure Comics, number 40, first Sandman. I have this book, but it's heavily restored, and I've had it for about a decade. And yeah, no one wants it, at least in the restored version. All right, 90,000 for a 7.0. I have no idea. This book rarely ever sells. It's very, very rare. So record price though. Last one sold in 2011 for 28,000. So when I say 30,000, it's gone 3x. 3x in decade and a half-ish. So there you go. Look at that. Great investment. Dang, that went up. So the last one was a 5.0, sold earlier this year for 50. A 4.0, so for 31. So hard to say. All I can tell you, it is the most expensive ones ever sold for, because even the top one back in 2012 was 48. 7.5 in 2021. 7.5 in 2021 sold for 81. So that was the peak. So during the peak market, even a 7.5 sold for 81,000. This one sold for 90, and this is a 7.0. So that is very good price. And I'm just showing you the data sets. You can look at it yourself. I'm saying that these are very optimistic. Yes, there were some that went down, but overall, it seems like they're doing really, really well. All right, first appearance, Wonder Woman, All-Star 8, and a 6.0. I had a 4.0 once, a long time ago. Traded for a collection. All right, well, what grade was this? 6.0. Sold for 90,000. The last sale, record price by far. Last sale was in 2022, end of 2022, and it sold for 66,000. So that is up, almost 50%, from 60 to 90. Wow, it's quite a bit in a year and a half. So great return there. By far, definitely a really, really, really good price for this one. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I can tell you right now that this is a very, very low price. The last one, I'm just going to go off the top of my head because I just looked at this one. It was like 120. The record price was 250 back in 2021. So this is definitely by far the lowest price. So this one's continues to drop. Why the Turtles continue to drop? I think when the Turtles started getting, because these books were back in 18 and stuff like that. They're only 20 to 30,000 for a 9.8, somewhere around there, and they just shot straight up. And I think people started coming out with more 9.8s. I think it's up to 50 or something like that in a 9.8. So more 9.8 started showing up. Let's look at X-Men #1 and an 8.5, sold for 57.5. Where's X-Men? X-Men. There you are. All right. So we're looking at this. 9.8. Did I say 9.8? 8.5. 8.5 is what we're looking at, and sold for 57,600. Okay, let's see. Seems low. Okay, so 57. Okay, the last sale was 58, which was a year ago. So in a year, it's been about the same. Then it was 57.6. Hey, so exactly a year ago, pretty much, in June of last year, 57.6, same price. And then in end of 2022, selling for 57.6. So pretty much the same. You pretty much just got a couple sales that boosted it way up. But if you look at this trend, it's just been going get rid of this big old instant boost. And, it's pretty much just been steadily going up. So I think we're at that point where you just wipe away that comic boom stuff, and it's comics, steadily going up at a nice rate. I got a good one to tell you here at the end. This will be an interesting one. Almost, good thing I held on to it. So let's look at the Superboy #1. I literally, what is this? A 9.2, 45. Not the highest grade. There's not that many sales. Record price from 2020, selling for 31. So, up 50%. Exciting Comics #9. I believe this is the first appearance of Tim. Yes, it is the first appearance of Tim. Also, first appearance of Black Terror. But no one cares. No one knows who that is. It's all about Tim. Tim is the most famous to come out of Nador Publications. He had a trilogy about him in the 1940s. Every kid wanted to be him. He was outselling Superman, and then he just disappeared. That's all made up. No one knows who Tim is. People barely even know who Black Terror is, but they do know him enough to pay $45,000 for an 8.5. Oh, it's top grade. Is it? Yep, tied. Okay, so top grade. Never going to sell that often. 52 down to 45. There you go. Wonder Woman #1. I guess the power of Tim is not strong enough to command more money. I'm very surprised. Tim is a very popular character. He's popular in Japan. You guys don't know that. Anytime there's a band, like I think this was like when I was growing up in like high school and stuff like that. Like if like you were in a band and you said, you're like, oh yeah, we're very big in Japan. Like no one's ever heard of you here, but you're big in Japan. That was like the thing. And I just heard that joke like a week ago. Someone said it. I was like, oh, I never heard of these people. It was a company, and they're like, oh, they're big in Japan. Probably no one will get that reference. I think it's actually from an actual band. I think either the band name was big in Japan or they had an album called that or something like that. And I don't know what came first, the joke or the band album. All right, 4-5, Wonder Woman number 1. 40,000. Previous one a year ago was 48. Not that great. Avengers number 1. And let's get the Albedo, because that's the next one coming up. Avengers number 1 and a 9.0 sold for 37. The last one sold for 48 back in 2022. In 2021, 49. In 2020, it was 37. So it's back to 2020 numbers. So prior to the comic boom. And then last is this Albedo number 2, first appearance of Usagi Yojimbo. So I have a 9.8. This sold for 33.5. And I've been trying to sell my 9.8. So a 9.8 sold on Heritage for $55,000 back in January, so 6 months ago. This one sold for $33,000, record price. The one before that in 2022 was $21,000, so you basically have a 50% jump. In 2021, sold for $24,000. So this book is definitely going up, getting hot. I have 9.8. I actually have the 9.8 belongs to the person that created the comic book, not created Usagi. That's Stan Sakai. Maybe it has his name here. It's like Steven Galacci. I don't know how to say his name. Galacci. I don't know. It's right there. You guys can correct me. Steven Galacci. Anyways, it was his personal copy. I personally have. I was personally going to keep it. A lot of personalities in there. But then, I decided to sell it. Kind of have to. But nonetheless, here's the funny thing. I was just about to sell this. I had 2 offers because we had it up for 50. Someone made an offer, I think like 40. It was with some trades, so we kind of like, it didn't work out. Then finally I was like, we just need to get rid of a big book. And so we had an offer for 35 and then another offer for 37 and then another offer for like 32. So all around there for a 9.8. Because what happened was someone sold a 9.8 on Comic Link for $25,000, a 9.8. So people were like, oh, they're paying above what the Comic Link one, which was pretty low. And so then I was like, okay, this book is, the Heritage had 55,000, but whatever, I just need to get rid of it. I'll get rid of 30 because I had it up for 6 months after the Heritage sale. No real big offers. So I was ready to sell it for 35 because there's a better offer, less trade, or 37. It was all cash, not any trade and stuff like that. So I was going to do that. And then this one sells for 33. And so I was like, nope, not going to happen. And you might be thinking like, well, you had a deal. We didn't have a deal. We had basically someone said, I will do that, but they never gave me any money. And also this person is backed out on the original $40,000 offer, which was like 2 months ago. So decided not to sell it. And I think I'll probably give it to Heritage to sell it on their website and a lot of people are thinking like, why wouldn't this person who paid 33 just go to you, David, and pay, whatever it was. I had it up for like 42 and, maybe work out a deal for a 9.8. And people don't realize this. The people on Heritage are a different kind of people. Yes, there's people like me and you that are on Heritage hunting, but the people on Heritage are the people that have a lot of money. They don't care. The thing that's more valuable to them is their time. They don't want to go on eBay and hunt for a deal. They don't want to waste their time. Heritage sends them a catalog. They look at it and go, this is cool. I want this. Boom. And they all bid on it. They don't want to hunt for a good deal and look at prices and all that kind of stuff. They don't care. They don't care. That's like art. We can go wild swings because art's one of one. So it's like, what do you want to price it at? It's like, as a dealer or someone who thinks they can like flip it or something like that, you're looking at like comps and everything like that, trying to figure out what it's worth, right? They don't care. They're like, I want that. I'm just going to bid on it. And they're also just like, they have deep pockets. They don't care about spending a bunch of money. And that's just the type of person they are. They're like, this is cool. I want it. When am I going to see another one? Probably never. Okay. And when you can literally look on eBay and see one up there right now, but they're like, they don't want to deal with eBay. Even if it's a trusted seller like me, they don't know who I am. They don't care. They don't want to, like, this is what they're thinking. Oh, I go on eBay. What if the person never sends it? What if I get scammed? What if all this kind of is broken? It's not this. It's a reprint. It's this. You know, that's what happens on eBay. And so it's like, yeah, you can find your trusted dealer and you use them, but this person's like, I don't care. I don't want to waste my time for something to happen and then it's shipped late. They know when they go to Heritage, it's going to be shipped professionally. It's going to be shipped on time. There'll be no hassle whatsoever. They just give them their credit card or pay them however they pay them. Done. They know it's coming to them. They don't have to worry. And that's why they pay a premium. And that's why they don't really go anywhere else. And that's why Heritage can get really, really good prices. I'm not saying that they get the best prices all the time, but on rare, obscure books like this and rare, obscure things, they're going to get really good prices. That's just, they're going to find those top people to get that. They're going to find them. And that's why stuff that's super rare and, or maybe super expensive, it'll go well. Or sometimes, you know, it could be like the detective, not do very well. But yeah, they have that pool of people that just do not care about looking for a good deal. Do not care about overpaying. What is overpaying? Overpaying is all subjective because it's basically what you would consider overpaying. Maybe they don't. Maybe they're like, whatever, I just wanted it. That's not overpaying to me. Because it's like, what is the price on this? I don't know. You tell me. The last one that sold was what, 21,000 I said? 21,500. Okay, so what is he supposed to pay? 22,000? Is that what he's supposed to pay for a 9.6? 22,000? Does that seem fair? Okay, so records don't get broken unless people don't care about quote unquote overpaying. But overpaying doesn't really mean anything because maybe this person's holding it for 50 years and he sells it for $150,000 in 50 years or 20 years. I don't know, 5 years. Who knows? Is it overpaying then? I don't know. He made a bunch of money. So not really. So yeah, that's my thoughts on that. So yeah, I'm probably going to put mine in Heritage with a couple other books on their next big auction and see how they do. Hopefully they do well because yeah, I haven't really gotten any good offers or anybody to put actual money down. And that's my rule. I'm like, we can make a deal all you want and you can promise me the moon, but that has happened thousands of times. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. Unless you're like someone I know and I know you've been good, they'll hold a book. But I don't hold a book for anyone unless they give me a down payment. But if they don't give me a down payment, I'm not going to hold the book because so many times I've taken books off eBay and off my website and held it. And then it's like, okay, the day's come to give me a down payment. Oh, sorry, or this or that, or something happens. I'm like, okay, give me another week. Another week goes by, another week. And then all of a sudden it's like 2 months in and it's like, I've received nothing. And ask lots of dealers. They have done all that, been through all that before. So until you get money, you can't until you get at least a down payment, you can't hold the book for someone. They have to give you something. You can't just take down a listing and pretend it's theirs until you get something. You know, the worst is when they give you a down payment and then maybe they give you another payment and then say you're on a monthly payment plan and then 1 month goes by, they don't pay you. Oh, don't worry, I'll get the money. Another month goes by. Oh, and they give you like some money, not enough. And you're like, okay. And so then, you know, what was supposed to be like 3 to 4 months of payments turns into a year later and you only have like 30% of it. And you're just like, come on. That's when it gets like weird because then it's like, look, I need to sell this book. Now I have to give you all your money back, or I just really like you to pay for it, all this kind of stuff. Or then they come back and like, well, the book's gone down, so I need a discount on it. And you're like, what? No. Like, we agreed to this price, you know, whatever, a year ago. And that was the price then. Just because it went down now doesn't mean that you can finagle out of our deal. And it's just like, well, and then you're just like, oh, yeah. Life of being a dealer. This is things you have to deal with. So, yes. So, let me know what you thought about Heritage Auction stuff. I thought they did pretty well. That's my opinion. But But I looked through it all just like you did. And yeah, have a good day.